Mr. Speaker, every day that Congress does not pass the DREAM Act, 122 DACA recipients lose their protection from deportation. That's 122 every day. Young people who arrived in the U.S. as children have gone through multiple background checks and have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years. Every week that passes, nearly 1,000 DACA recipients lose their protection from deportation. By Christmas, the number of DACA recipients who will have lost their protection will reach 13,492. But now we are hearing that we may have a short-term CR or a series of CRs, and that the whole budget and funding debate might get kicked down the road to next year, when all 800,000 young immigrants who signed up for DACA will begin losing their status. Mr. Speaker, with Republicans in control of the House, Senate, and White House, I'm pretty sure you will not need my vote to pass the next budget. So, I will vote against any short-term CR because I assume you have the votes to govern as you see fit, no matter how much I and other Democrats disagree with your priorities on women, on children's health care, the environment, or Dreamers. Now, if Republicans decide they do need help from Democrats to approve a budget, they know where to find us. And we are more than willing to help if what we are voting on meets minimal standards of priorities for the American people. For me and a lot of my colleagues, that means a vote on the DREAM Act right now, this year. The votes are here. The legislation is here. The American people are already in support. So, Mr. Speaker, at some point, Republican leadership should just get out of the way and let America vote. That is what leadership, compromise, and bipartisanship looks like. Now, we certainly know what it doesn't look like. In the middle of the night last weekend, Republicans voted to give a tax cut to the richest Americans. They dressed it up as a tax cut for all of us, for everyone. But we all know that it's an obscene tax cut for the obscenely wealthy and rich in America. Not a single Democrat in either house supported it, and this chart explains part of the reason. It is tremendously unpopular with the American people, as the small slice in red on this chart shows us. Accordingly to Gallup poll, just 29% of Americans support the Republican tax cut for billionaires and the multinational corporations. That is what partisanship looks like. So what does bipartisanship look like? It looks like the DREAM Act. Overall, 86% of Americans support the DREAM Act, a bill to legalize immigration status of immigrants who arrived in the United States as children. Yes, 86%. That's a big slice of red on the chart. And that number comes, get this, from Fox News poll, just in case you think I was using a partisan poll where they put their thumb on the scale to show things in my favor. 63% of Trump voters back citizenship for the Dreamers. So here is a proposal supported by an overwhelming number of people, an overwhelming number of Republicans, and an overwhelming percentage of Trump voters. But we can't get a vote. Yesterday, 34 Republicans in this body wrote to the Speaker asking him to please allow a vote on something to protect the Dreamers. Clearly, all 34% of those Republicans can read the chart in red. They want to do something that is both politically popular and right thing to do from a moral standpoint. The reason Republican leaders will not allow a vote on the DREAM Act, or at least are acting like they won't, is because they know it will pass. So you take 34 Republicans that wrote the Speaker and had 194 Democrats, and you know what you got? A majority of the House. And for all of those Republicans who oppose the DREAM Act, they get a Christmas present. They get to vote against it. What better way to associate yourself with the comments of your president on Mexicans, on Muslims, on everything else than to vote against the DREAM Act? So, Mr. Speaker, I urge you to let your members vote against the DREAM Act as an act of charity in the Christmas spirit. Republicans will get what most of them want: an opportunity to send a message to their base voters by voting on something the rest of us agree on, just like the tax bill. But this time, with the passage of the DREAM Act, at least the majority of the American people will get something out of it too.